Hey guys, it's your girl STARDUST, geekxxchic, back with another reaction to Cloak Dagger. This episode is called Shadow Selves, and we ended the last episode on quite an interesting note. We finally saw well, I shouldn't say we finally saw, because there's still a lot of questions, but we got an answer to kind of what's going on with O'Reilly. There's so many questions that go along with that and how that works, and hopefully we're gonna get into that. So without further ado, let's get into this episode and then we will chat about it afterwards. Okay, let's go.
Subject 11 has been drinking an aqueous solution with a 6.5% Roxxon chemical agent. Recovery sample number 446.
Why is she testing this?
And we will never know what happened that night.
Jesus, I thought that was the mouse.
It's
It's like, oh my God, mouse mayhem.
Oh, that's certainly something.
So it was the mouse. That's crazy. Is one gonna kill the other? So that's what happened. Well, that was a quick recap. Thank you. Now you know what happened to O'Reilly. Or was it her? Nope, that was Mayhem. Yeah, the body language. You know, she kind of leans forward and keeps her head tilted when she's Mayhem. Yep, there's the green nails. She can hear the electricity. Interesting. Heightened senses. Got it. Please don't break the fridge. Okay, well, you know, the fridge deserved it, I guess. Girl. Hello, Super? My neighbor just threw a refrigerator down the stairs.
Detective Bridget O'Reilly, who is in critical condition in County General.
Oh! Okay, that makes sense. Stay away from her neck, crazy. Oh no, I guess if the other mouse killed the other one, I was wondering if they can live without each other, but I think they can. Interesting.
That cop.
So it's gonna be O'Reilly versus O'Reilly this season.
Look, I don't think she knows what happened.
Yeah, look at her. She looks a little traumatized.
Hey, who does?
Funny you should ask. There was a mouse incident earlier today.
In the dociles, there's almost no activity in the anger and rage center of the cerebral cortex. But in the aggressives, there's only activity in the rage center.
I called it.
Inside their head, there's nothing but chaos,
Mayhem.
anger, and...
Say it. Boom.
It killed the docile one.
That happened a lot.
Oh, he put his arm around her. That was sweet.
Although you could build up a little credit with me, if you like.
You wish. It would suck to have no anger.
What is this?
Like, at all. Y'all are kind of bold going after her just like this. I mean, Tandy's got them daggers, but I feel like you need more than that. Plus, she knows you can disappear now. Oh my God, she's been busy. Hey, yo, we haven't seen the preacher in a minute. Why is he quitting? Ooh, he left the cross. And the collar. My God, so... Can Tyrone put her in the same place that he put Connors? I wonder.
I'd find out who these girls were, how they were vulnerable, and who would be dangerous enough. And that's what this room is all about.
When did she have time?
Girls.
How?
Come on, tell us where you think that she went, because if I'm gonna do this, you need to give me a minute, okay? Okay.
Yeah, we'll wait in the hall. Come on, Tandy.
Yeah, can you just let her be in her trauma for a minute, Tandy? Just, it's kind of scary to find out you've got a literal evil twin.
The next place you go is Pier 81. Vice knows it's a hotspot for drug traffic.
You mean this Purity one?
The former Pier 81. Girl, so interesting because, like, Mayhem's kind of doing the right thing, but she's completely in the wrong way. It's the theme of this season.
When exposed to air,
Wait, is that the priest?
we ignore sickness, pretending air.
I didn't recognize him.
Heard you were back. What are you doing about patrol?
Please leave this man alone.
Coffee. Detective.
Bless him. Didn't even realize she was wearing a completely different outfit. Such a guy move.
How do we stop her?
Yeah, I was about to say, do we have a plan?
Strong as her before?
What, just walking to a strip joint?
Right? He's like, I'm a minor. Hey, Tyrone, I need you to stay focused, my brother. I know there's a whole lot of ass up in this room, but I just need you to stay focused on the task at hand. Yeah.
You're gonna have to do better than that.
Oh, girl, I know you weren't trying to do no combat. Because I think we both know that y'all don't got them kind of skills.
Nay.
What has that man got on her? Oh my God, is he gonna go after? She gonna go after Tyrone's mom? Oh, please notice that that was not her decision.
Car trouble?
What did you rip out of the engine?
I hope you find the asshole. I never should have vouched for him.
You know, sometimes you should just shut up and get in your car. Like, why are you so intent on ruining your manicure, girl? Oh, I see. This is how she found a new mission since she can't find Connors. Oh, this is such a conundrum. I mean, clearly she needs to be stopped, but kind of not. Oh, at least she left her badge. But that ain't gonna help you much because she has your face and everything else.
We stop one gang, one operation, it doesn't matter. There's hundreds more.
That's not the right attitude, though. Whoa, okay, we're expanding the operation. Mayhem ain't no small fries. If you don't put that pan down, you idiot.
I touched you, but there's nothing.
What does that mean? She has no hope? Why do we have to see this part again? No, this was gross.
Careful, okay?
Woo! He's getting so good with that. But I wonder if there's a limit. Like, I feel like he's done a lot today. There's just no excuse. There's nothing you can ever use to justify doing this, especially as black people in our history. Ugh.
Hey, you don't look so bad.
Look, I'll manage. We do this now.
No, you can't do any more, honey. I was right. There's a limit.
Because her style of shoot first, ask questions later is what got my brother killed.
Damn, he's got a point.
We'll find a distraction.
I don't think Ty's up for taking all those girls out.
Carolyn, I'm bringing more back.
Okay.
Oh my God, this isn't good for Ty. I feel like something bad's gonna happen to Ty. This is too much for him. Where's Ty? Where's Ty? I don't like this. Where's Ty?
How the hell you did that?
You ain't got time for conversations, Tyrone. Go, 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 go. Okay, Mayhem's here. Oh no, Tyrone's gonna save the boy, right? Oh, well, I mean, my brother, you shouldn't have been there. That is amazing! Did he take her into Cloak World? She gonna find Connors in there? What is happening? He's gonna pass out. Oh, I thought it was the end. But she can navigate in there, right? Because she's got the same... She gonna find Connors in here?
Hello?
Oh my God, what? Oh, she has a thing about fridges. Oh no. That's right, these are all her worst fears. You're agitating a girl that's already psycho.
Who's up for awkward reunion pancakes?
Oh wow. I think Tyrone's actually gonna make Mayhem even crazier. What? Oh my God, just when I thought this student get even messier. Okay guys, that was the latest episode, which was called, oh God, what was it called? I got so lost in the end there. Shadow Selves. So much to delve into. All right, I guess, wow. Okay, we could talk about the whole thing with how Mayhem's handling things. I mean, first of all, okay, let's talk about, let's go back. Let's talk about O'Reilly. We got the explanation of how O'Reilly became O'Reilly and how she works, which is great. I wasn't sure if we were gonna have to kind of have this evolve over a few episodes or not, but I'm glad they kind of at least explained it. We now know for sure that this is two separate O'Reillys. They are completely separate entities, but in a way they're not, because I said this in the last video that I think that it's potentially that this doppel is like got only all the anger and hate and all the darkness in O'Reilly, and O'Reilly has been left with all the light. So they're not really balanced, either of them. Like, O'Reilly's not whole and neither is Mayhem. They kind of need each other for balance, but obviously Mayhem's not down for that. she's all about, you know, the rage and revenge, and like the, oh gosh, I wish I could remember the name of the doctor or the scientist, but she said like basically her rage center and her anger and her aggression is constantly going. Like there's no other part of her brain working, no empathy, no reasoning. Like your brain's broken into so many components, and the only parts that are active are obviously the parts that are creating what we know now as Mayhem. So really cool to see how this happened. The woman we saw run out of the water last episode or last season was Mayhem, and O'Reilly was actually rescued or pulled out of the water by the police. So they've been living separate lives, and we just saw them converge in the last episode. And yeah, they've given us a couple of moral conundrums when it comes to Mayhem, and I love that. I love when shows give a good case as to why the bad guy may not be necessarily as bad as we think, or why we can believe that they're the hero of their own story. Because one of the things that drives me nuts is when you have shows that have a villain and they're just the villain. Like there's no real explanation. They're just mustache twirling evil people. We don't really know why, or it's a really lame and very easily disputable reason why that they've chosen this life of crime or whatever it is that they're doing. But really good, well-written stories have villains that are complex and layered, and also make it a little difficult for you as an audience member to 100% hate them. You know what I mean? Like even though you know at the base level that they gotta go, there's a skinny party that kind of roots for them a little. You know what I mean? That's a little bit like, I can see what he did there, or she did. And that's what they're doing with Mayhem. They're calling them both Bridget right now, which is just too much for me to handle. So we're just gonna call her Mayhem. Because at first I thought, okay, is she just gonna go through this whole show being just, I like to kill people, everybody sucks, blah, blah, blah. There is still some of O'Reilly in there. And O'Reilly, the OG, when she was all one person, she is a person who deeply believes in what's right. She deeply believes in justice. She deeply believes in the things being right in this world, which is why she was such an ally to Tyrone and Tandy last season. Even though Mayhem has got all the issues, and as I said, she's got to go, you understand that like her fury and her execution is coming from a righteous place. And that's what makes it so difficult. It's gonna make her a very compelling character. If she's written and executed properly this season, she should be a really interesting character for us to watch as she goes through her journey, because we're talking about someone who, much like, I think so far the theme, as I've said in the past 3 episodes, have been these people with really good hearts, but their heads are not in the right place, like trying to do good things, but because they haven't thought it through, it's just not always executing the way that they want. Mayhem is just like a hyperbolic explanation of that. As I said, the goodness that is in O'Reilly, in the sense of her sense of justice and her moral compass, is what is causing Mayhem to not, like, she's not just going out and randomly killing people right now, right? It's not like she's just going and anyone who's walking on the street, she kills them. Although I wouldn't put it past her. Like, I feel like if she got annoyed, she probably still kill somebody, but it's not something where she's actively looking to just kill. She's actually channeling that rage in a very focused and realistic and idealistic way, believe it or not. Like wanting to get to the heart of corrupt cops, wanting to get to the heart of human trafficking and drug lords. That isn't a bad thing. You know what I mean? Those are very pure and altruistic things. Her execution, however, the fact that she's just killing people, and there's a lot of arguments here, and Tyrone and Tandy they played the part of the arguments of whether or not this type of justice or the way she was going about things, whether it's really all that wrong or right? And I think it's definitely was representative, I think, of a lot of the viewers of the show, because I think some people are going to be 100% Team Mayhem and slightly Team Tandy on this, but other people are going to be on Team Tyrone. And I feel like both Tyrone and Tandy have valid points. I don't think it's a black and white issue. It's very difficult, especially when it comes to the really deep atrocities as far as crimes. I mean, it's one thing to say, like, let's not murder a guy over stealing a loaf of bread, right? Like that is kind of an easy cut and dried situation. But when you get something as serious as trafficking human people, and in the real world this happens, girls get sold into sex slavery right here today in 2019. This is still happening, as it was brought out in the last episode. Sadly, if those women are girls, so those girls are of minorities, minority backgrounds, they pretty much are not a concern. They don't get the backup and the support that they should get to potentially help to stop this. But also, even if they did, I'm not gonna blame it all on that. It is the system behind something as crazy as human trafficking is so vast and intricate, and it's got so many levels of corruption that honestly I could spend like hours of video trying to touch the surface of it. So I know it's not as simple as that. Tandy said that. She's like, we took care of one operation, we shut down one thing. There's so many more. We've cut off like the pinky on what is like an entire body of a corrupt operation. While I get what she's saying, it's absolutely true. Conversely, it's not the right way to look at it either, because every little bit helps. Like, even though it didn't necessarily stop human trafficking forever, there's at least, I don't know how many, I think there's like 6 or 8 girls there that aren't going to have to live that life. 6 or 8 girls that get to go home and get to resume their life at some point. And that is a victory. It may not be the victory that you wanted, but it is still a victory. So as usual, the show's just so good with digging into these really deep moral issues and tackling them in a way that's realistic, but also, you know, it's heavy, but not being too heavy, right? They gave us enough to really think about and have discussions about, and I love that about this show. I think a lot of the episodes really allow you to have a good think about just a lot of different issues, and even have conversation if you watch it with people that, you know, with your friends and stuff like that. Interesting note though, that whole thing with the guy, the corrupt cop, how Tyrone's mom was on the council, that panel. I have to go back and read it because I was talking, unfortunately, and I gotta be careful when I'm watching these videos. I sometimes miss things, but they apparently were trying to get them to vote on something, and they needed a unanimous vote, pardon me, and she voted. She looked at a man in the back who might be the uncle from last season that we kept hearing about but never saw. She looked at him and she looked like she was out of it. Like, she looked, even in that, in episode 1 when Tyrone was looking at her from the bushes or whatever, she looked really upset, like stressed. And at first I thought, okay, maybe it's just because obviously it's got to be stressful knowing that your kid's out there being searched for on the charges of murder. I'm thinking that she's got a gun to her head for another reason. Like, what does this uncle have on her? So I hope we get to see what that's all about. I'm really scared though. I really hate the idea of Tyrone's mom having to deal with anything else right now. She's been through so much, and she's already going through it right now with not being able to contact Tyrone or see him. So yeah, if she's getting involved in some shady stuff because she's being forced into it somehow, that would just be the worst. As for some of the other cooler things we got to see, Tyrone flexing this ability he's figured out as far as transporting people with him when he teleports. Just like last episode, he was saying to Evita that he didn't know how to do it, but he figured it out pretty quickly. He figured it out. Whatever clicked for him clicked, and now he can transport people. We don't know how many he can do. So far, he's done 2 at a time. Well, 3 if you count himself. But we saw that it had a physical toll. So as soon as he did that, like especially when he had them, when he saved them from Mayhem, the fact that he was kind of like, you know, laid out for a few seconds afterwards, I was like, ooh, okay. So I don't know if Tyrone would, because you know with a lot of these powers, you know how it goes in the Marvel universe, right? No one really, with the exception of your Omega level mutants, pretty much everyone's got a limit, right? There's a certain point where they just can't use their abilities anymore. And in Tyrone's case, we've never seen him necessarily get tired of doing his own teleportation, but again, we don't know how much he does. And again, I don't know how often he does it. We don't know. Maybe if he had to do teleporting of, you know, 40, 50 times a day, he'd eventually not be able to do it anymore. But we saw that pulling people with him apparently took a lot more out of him to carry the people with him. And the more he did it, like the more tired and the more of a physical toll it was actually taking on him. So I was terrified all episode that he was going to pass out at the wrong time, because taking all these girls and going back and forth was quite a bit. But in the end, he ended up doing a boss ass move, like that whole like Batman extension cloak that he did to absorb the bullets and protect that boy. And that even in of itself is a, I mean, I know why Tyrone did it, considering I know that definitely went right back to his brother, you know, being able to protect a young man that he wasn't able to do for his brother. But at the same time, that little boy shouldn't have been there. That little boy had no business being with them people. But anyways, I'm not saying he deserved to die over that. But digressing, Tyrone pulled a pretty boss move there at the end. We have not seen him be able to do that before. That's not true. The last time we saw him do that was with Connors. And when it reached out and reached for him and pulled him into the darkness. And it did the same thing. It protected the boy first, and then it pulled Mayhem into it. And the last time it happened with Connors, remember Tyrone said he didn't do it. He said the cloak did it of its own volition, but I don't think that's true. I think that the cloak listens to Tyrone's subconscious as well as what he's thinking. And I don't think Tyrone's figured that out yet. Like, that's probably gonna be something that down the line you'll realize he's gotta be really careful, because I think even though he may not have consciously thought, I wanna pull this chick into my cloak, he has been saying all episode that she's got to go. much like he kept thinking about Connor. So I think the Cloak just picked up on it, and that shooting at the kid was, like I said, it was a trigger right back to his brother, and it was enough emotional fuel for the Cloak to just say, okay, here's the problem, let's get rid of it. But as we saw, we're gonna get a venture into the shadow world now, it looks like. Because I always wondered, it would have been great to see if, like, is Connor's just wandering around in the dark dimension? Like, what's happening? But it looks like we might get a chance to see that in the next episode, because Mayhem's there now. And the difference between Mayhem and Connor is, sorry, I just realized I should have checked to see if there was a preview. There's not. The difference with Mayhem is that she's not like Connor. She's a literal product of this substance that has altered Tyrone and Tandy. So she may be able to navigate, because remember how she caught Tandy's dagger and it just disintegrated? It didn't even hurt her. It stands to reason, I think, that she could potentially navigate the shadow world and potentially leave, or figure out how to leave, because she does have this power in her. Whether or not she brings Connors with her is another story. My guess is if she finds Connors in there, she's gonna kill him. But I don't even know if people can, like, meet each other in the dark dimension, right? Because we saw her go up to the fridge, of course, dead X in there, and the dark dimension, from what I read, is all about people's worst fears. So she should be living out her worst fears in there. Connors can't be a part of that. And Connor should be living in his own personal hell right now. But it does make me wonder, and I said that, like, maybe Tyrone inadvertently is creating an even worse villain, right? I kept saying that, like, in the beginning, that yes, Mayhem is a villain in the sense of she can't execute justice the way that she's doing it, but her heart and her moral compass are in the right place for now. What might be the shove over the edge of that into absolute mayhem? Because right now it isn't pure mayhem. It really isn't. It's controlled mayhem at the moment. But what may just violently shove it into full-blown, full-scale, I don't care about anyone mayhem is a trip through the dark dimension. If you keep attacking her with things that are emotional triggers, to me, all that's gonna do is feed and fuel that fire. When she gets out from this dimension, she's gonna be so much worse than when she went in, and that's when we're gonna see the real mayhem. I think that's when we're gonna see some next level stuff. Now, I don't know if that's gonna be anytime soon, because this show likes to kind of play with having a couple of antagonists or big bads of the season, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we don't see Mayhem again till closer to the end of the season. And in the meantime, we look at this whole operation that's going down with the human trafficking, as well as whatever's going on with Tyrone's mom, because I think that that's going to evolve into something more. We'll have to see. Either way, it's going to be super interesting to watch, and I'm really liking the way that things are shaping up so far this season. It's going to be very juicy. Both Tandy and Tyrone have leveled up in their powers a little bit already this season. I hope we get to see more as the season continues. What did you guys think of this episode? How are you feeling about this whole Mayhem situation? Are you team Mayhem, or are you team Tyrone / Bridget on all of this situation? Please leave your comments below. You know, I love reading them and getting involved in that conversation with you. And if you like this video, guys, please click like. And if you want to see more from this geeky face, please click subscribe. Until next time, see ya.